Okay, bro. What you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm blessed, you know what I mean? I thank God every day, you know what I mean, for me being in this position.
Great entertainer, great on the mic, and then even a great worker.
I tell you could beat me one-on-one?
Mike could do that.
All right, I gotta put the shades on them.
Growing the game at such a global level.
Can't keep up with me, be consistent on a daily basis.
Hell yeah, look at him. He act too cool. He act too confident.
It comes to such reward for all the hard work that you put in and to rise to the top.
Your chain turning your neck perp. We're not.
What up, this is KRS-One with the Takeover Files. Make sure y'all stay tuned on this. Realness.
What's going on, y'all? This your boy Lito Takeover. This is the Takeover Files. We got this edition right here.
What's up? What you think?
BL Shirelle, what's up?
I'm good. How you?
I'm good. What's going on? Hold on, before we get into the interview, all right, let me just get into a background story. Like my first, I could definitely say, who got bars?
Who got bars?
The first couple of months I moved back to the city, my first event coverage in Philly, ran in the mall. And it's history ever since, you feel me? You shut it down, you did your thing. Shout out to Life of NT, everybody who was a part of that.
What's up,
that's where we're going to start with it at, man. First, tell us about that event, then we're going to get into you.
Yeah, Cap, he had hit me up. He was like, I got this event, really want you to come through, whatever. And I didn't do an event in Philly in a long time at that point, because, Philly be on some, janky promoter type stuff. But Cat, that's my guy.
Right,
I love Cat.
Like,
I was like, of course I'd do it. Like, you know what I mean? Life of ENT, of course. So I came out, a lot of folks came out to support, you know what I mean? It was just a great look, because I did a song that they all loved. So they was always like singing along and all that.
Double that. Give back. Yeah, that we into that. Oh, I got paper on. Yeah, that was at work.
Yeah, they was fucking with it. The crowd was fucking with it. It was great. That was a great night.
Yeah, that was definitely a dope night. I feel like you performed first. I recorded it and then I came to you. I feel like
No. You came to me first. You like, I got these packages. I'm doing this and that. And I was like, that's what's up. I salute, but I'm good. My wife was there too.
Facts.
So you like, no, I'm rated this. This is what I do. Expeditiously, I get done. We just liked your hustle.
No,
I'm like,
listen,
I'm gonna get a nigga to play. I just like how he moves. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, like yeah. And then when I got it back, it was great.
I
Great job. That's how we here today. So.
Listen, when you the way you put it together, you feel me? I mean that, like you said, you had the crowd into it. The energy on stage, it was killing the stage. Your facial expressions to your bars, you just did your thing. And from that point, I realized that you were definitely an artist and not a rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I remember you doing it. You feel me? But I remember you telling me that was you had just came home.
Not too long before that. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. How long were you locked up for?
Well, I did 9 years and 3 months. But it was kind of split up. So I did like 6 first, and then I came home for 18 months, and I didn't have a good adjustment period, I guess, or reintegration. I didn't really have a good reintegration. So I went back for 3 years and 3 more months. So I was home for maybe roughly, I'm giving myself a little bit when I say 18 months, probably more like 16.
Okay. So why do you feel like you had such a hard time?
Well, because I came home, I did a lot of programs and stuff in the jail. I did like fiber optics, building trades. I was an electrician for like 5 years there. I went there at a very young age, so this was like kind of like my college experience. So from like 18 years old to 24 years old, I was in the penitentiary. And I came home very optimistic. Thought that I was just gonna be able to get out with all this training, with all these certificates, for all the stuff I spent my time doing. I thought I was going to be able to just get out almost with a clean slate, almost like, and move on and be able to, go work for DirecTV or, do something with all the skills that I acquired. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So when I came home, I was working at McDonald's for a while, got a little impatient with that, and I just walked away from that and just started selling drugs again. So, yeah. It was a little bit a lack of patience and a lack of resources kind of created the perfect storm for me. And I was like at the age where I was grown, but since I spent all of my adult life in prison at the time, I didn't know what responsibility was, and I didn't really have a great sense of all that stuff. So I had to take another trip back, which was a completely different experience than my first one.
So what was it like? Explain to me your first day home, coming home the first time, and then your first day home, coming home since you've been out.
That's interesting. So my first day coming home the first time.
Like, just where was your mindset at, you know?
I was just
also
happy to
the
get
actions.
out. Honestly, the first time coming home, I was happy to get out. It was a bittersweet thing because I literally grew up with most of these people.
Facts.
And the friends that I have now are the same friends that I had then. So the same people that I grew up with then in the penitentiary, we're still all friends. The girlfriend that I had then is now my wife.
That's heavy.
So I literally created my family almost outside of my family, you know, that first bit. So it was like a bittersweet thing, but I was happy to get out. And I was very nervous, you know, apprehensive about what the future held. The second time when I got out, it was a lot different. It was, the second bit was really rough. I lost some people, you know, my wife lost some people that was very near and dear. It was a lot of consequences. We had children that were affected. We lost a lot of things, home, cars, money, you know. It was different. It's different when you're a kid going to jail and like only thing they can take is your body. And then when you're an adult going to jail, it's a lot of things that can get taken. Now you got family members you might not see again, you know, because, you know, you're in a situation, you got kids that get affected because, you know, you are snatching them from their homes, you're losing things that you've built, you know what I mean? So it was, the second time I got out, it was just like, get the business.
Over, right.
Yeah, just get to work, just do what I need to do, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest thing you felt like you learned from your time being incarcerated?
That's a good question. Patience. That's it. The only thing, because you're so out of control of everything else, only thing you can have control of is just being patient for your time. If they give you a hit, they give you a hit. There's nothing you can do. If they write you up, they write you up. There's nothing you can do. You just be patient and wait for your time, wait for your moment. I've learned tolerance in a way. I was roommates with people who had like swastikas tatted on them and all that, and we actually wound up being able to have conversations or even get cool or, you know, like understand each other from a different, you know, perspective. So I learned a lot of tolerance also. But outside of that, I can't really think of too much that they actually taught me that I use today. Like I said, I did a lot of classes, but they didn't do me no good because the companies wouldn't hire me when I came home anyway. So yeah, I know how to do that, but I can't utilize that, so that doesn't really matter. So those are the couple tools that I think the biggest ones.
That's one thing I hate about just like, I'm happy so much like prison reform going on and stuff like that, because I feel like, you know, I've been locked up for a long period of time, you feel me? Like, you did some shit, so I can't even try to compare.
A day is a day. I tell everybody, you know, I used to judge people, they would come in crying and shit, and this is my new roommate, and they got all these fucking questions, and I'm like, well, how much time you got? I got 3 years, and I'm like, nigga, that ain't nothing, that ain't shit. But that just goes to show you how desensitized you get to your own life. Like, this is your life, and I'm sitting here telling this person 5 years ain't nothing, 10 years ain't nothing. This is 10 years of somebody's fucking life. That's a long time, you know what I mean? So it's like you start to devalue life and devalue time with so much time being spent in here. But now that I'm out here and I'm able to appreciate life for what it is, a day is too long, you know? Like, it's a long time. I don't care. I don't judge people who do 3 months and then kill them. It should. That's a long time being away from your children. That's a long time being away from your family, you know? But there was a time where I thought, you know, 5 years wasn't nothing. I felt like I could sleep 5 years away. Like, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. People shouldn't feel that way about their lives, because we don't know if we're going to make it to the next. We don't even know if we're going to be here in 5 years. We don't know who we love is going to be here in 5 years. We don't know what's going to be happening in 5 years. So every day should be just as precious as the next. So when they get you to the point where 5 years of your life feels like nothing, that just goes to show you what you feel about your own life.
This is what we're going to do real quick, all right? We're going to take a nice deep breath and just soak all this free air in right now. You feel me? So let's do it with me, you feel me?
Feels great.
It feels great.
It feels great.
Look, this is what we're going to do, all right? We're going to take out a one commercial break, all right? Let's take over files. We'll be right back.
They ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Fat nigga, fly nigga. Boss niggas is my nigga. Fuckin' with me, sudden death. Cause we ain't got no ties, nigga. Double that, triple that, fuck it up, get it back, get high. Bitch, relax, switch hoes, cause we into that. All my bitches got paper hoe and they here. And them bitches keep plastic like my grandma chip. Black bitch, white bitch, that's that panda beer. Hoes everywhere, nigga, Santa's here. Switch it up, switch flow. 6 souls on your bitch show. Whip fast, whip slow. Wrist work, got a skid so. They breaking in through your window. Bruh man, 5th flow. They breaking in through your window. Bruh man, 5th flow. She get it from her mama. So I'ma get it from behind her. Paper.
We back with the Takeover Files. Like we said, we got BL Shirelle in the building. You feel me? Artist, musician. Just now we're gonna take this time. We talked about jail, you feel me? But now we're gonna take this time to just tell me about you. Some of the things you've overcome growing up. From a young age. Some of the people who've influenced you. Some people who may have, did you dirty. You never know. Just whatever motivated you to become the artist, musician, entrepreneur that you are today.
Well, I kind of grew up. Unfortunately, it was everything that happened kind of was supposed to happen. If you look at it from like a government or an infrastructure of this country. I was born at the edge of the 80s in a big crack epidemic when it was like.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I want you to talk to the people because I feel like you're about to get real deep. So talk to the people first.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was born at the edge of the 80s when it was like the crack epidemic was at its highest, and my mom, she had a drug addiction at the time. And shortly after I was born, after that, by the time I turned maybe 11 or 12, I was out here. I was trapping with my mom. We was co-defendants 2 or 3 times. Wow. And at the time, I was a very smart kid. Like back then, Central used to be like the shit. I don't know. I don't know who we talking to, but if anybody we talking to from Philly, y'all know that Central was like a really prestigious high school back, and I got accepted there. I was going there. So I had the intelligence, but I was just growing up in an environment that was not conducive to breed my intelligence correctly. So I wound up getting kicked out of Central. Like I said, me and my mom were getting arrested back and together. It was craziness. I was selling crack to my mother. That was a normal behavior for me. I grew up like that was some normal shit. But I had a grandma who was very, she was the backbone of my family. She took care of us.
Shante, always.
Always. She took care of us. She did everything. Like she had a whole nother house, and she used to still come to my house every morning, get us up for school, then go handle her house, then come back, do our laundry, then go handle her business, then come back, bring the groceries in, help us with our homework, all that shit. Pop up 3 o'clock in the morning, kicking crackheads out of the house. I mean, it was a lot, and my grandma wasn't in the best health. She had like health problems ever since I can kind of remember. So I did have somebody that was a big influence that I can take those morals now and use them now. But at the time, I was just so lost in what I was being brought up in that it was kind of hard for me to detach and listen to her while I got these things going on right in my face. So I started going to placement at a very young age, probably maybe 12 years old or something like that, catching like real live cases, gun cases, drug cases, all kinds of shit. And I got on probation around 12, and I've been on that or incarcerated ever since.
Wow.
I'll be off in January though. So.
Hey, you want to drop where you going in January? You want to drop?
I'm going to Nova Scotia in January. I'm off.
First day after parole, Nova Scotia with it. Like, what's up?
I got a gig in Nova Scotia I'm going to as soon as I get off. So, yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, but yo, how that feels? Like listen to what say that again.
I got a gig in Nova Scotia. Coming up.
You're on parole right now.
I am.
You just did 9 and some change.
Yeah.
You got a gig in Nova Scotia as soon as you get off of parole.
Yeah. And I actually got that gig though. This is the how it works. That gig is my professor. I took a philosophy course when I was in Muncie, when I was in prison. And she loved hip hop. And she found out I knew how to rap, and she like one of my biggest fans. So when I got out, like we started doing gigs together in schools.
That's love.
Like so she, cause she taught at Susquehanna University at the time, so we did like mad gigs at her school. We went and did a gig with Talib Kweli and like Goucher University. We went and did a gig, and Stockton University. I mean, we just be out here
I
touring.
heard that's
me and my professor that I met in jail, we be out here touring. And she going to Nova Scotia now, and you know I'm following right behind her. So, you know, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's
right?
like I don't want to keep bringing up the jail because you way more than inmate or someone that was an inmate. You feel me? Way more than that. To me, it feels like jail may have been the best thing that happened to you, other than, you know, marrying your wife, you know. But, oh man, other than your wife, you feel me, jail.
Well, I met her there.
Yeah, so jail has definitely been, you know, the best thing that happened to you, you feel me. All the connections that you've made during that time, you feel me. You had to learn yourself.
I did a TED talk in prison.
What's that?
You ever hear Kendrick say, "It's that great people on that big people on that TED talk"? Hey, it's like some white people shit. It's like a big thing though in the white people world. Yeah, they get like millions of views, and I did a band. We was a band, and I wrote like 2 songs. It sounded horrible, like the audio, but that helped me actually get involved with what I do now. I'm on the board of directors at for a multimedia group called Die Jim Crow, and we go into the prisons and like record inmates. And we try to, you know, get their art out so they can be heard and, like, you know, create records with them. And they got an album coming out, like 2021 or something like that.
Is there anything, you know, particular that you want to, you know, just speak on or touch on, things that might have happened in your life or something that, you know, just helps you prevail?
Things that help me prevail? Honestly, I just really truly believe in taking things one day at a time. Not that I don't believe in planning and stuff like that and setting goals and all that. Yes, I do believe in that. But when you're in the storm for real, I can only get through by just being in that moment, you know. And I think I kind of got that from my mom, who was an addict for a long time, like I just talked about earlier. But she's been actually, you know, clean for like 12 years now. And she's like doing great. She's a homeowner. She has a great job. She has 2 jobs, and you know she's just in her recovery. You know, they teach them to take things, you know, one day at a time, or 1 second at a time, or 1 minute, whatever it takes for you to get to that next threshold. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I've learned that when I get in like really sticky situations, just to move in that moment, so I won't make no irrational choices that'll put, because it's easy for me.
Moving off of impulse.
And self-awareness, like knowing what gets me into trouble, knowing what gets me in situations that I can't, you know. Like if I can't withstand having less than $2,000 before I want to go and do some dumb shit or sell drugs or whatever, I'm going to make sure I don't have less than $2,000, you know what I mean? I'm going to put myself in there because I don't want to put myself in a position that's going to make me start being irrational. And then if I do get under that $2,000, for example, I know that that's one of my things. You know, I know that's something that makes me, you know, tick off. So I'm going to be able to talk about it, or I'm going to be able to do whatever it is I need to do to just be still. Sometimes you just got to be still instead of making impulse, you know, decisions.
Right.
Impulse decisions.
One word, describe yourself.
Sharp. Sharp. I can go in any room and say a little about a lot. I can go in any room and be respected with the knowledge that I got in any topic. Very sharp.
If I had to pick one word, I'm still picking persistent. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I just feel as though the grind don't stop.
It don't.
The grind don't stop. You talking to juveniles. You talking to grown people. You talking to you at schools talking to colleges. You ain't even go to college. You feel me? So it's like you teaching and educating all these people when it's like they had more opportunities than you, and the opportunity that you had. You feel me? The unfortunate situation that you were in, you took full advantage of.
Absolutely.
You feel me? So that's like.
And more so than, you know, I do go and I talk at the schools and stuff, but with the jails, more so I'm letting them talk. That's more important. I'm letting their voice, you know. Fury Young is the founder of this, so it's not my situation, but you know, we're allowing them to have a voice to speak, and I think that is more important than anything, because so many of them is forgotten, especially the women. I don't think people realize how many women is incarcerated.
Facts. How many would you say?
I can say that the growth rate is 10 times. In the last decade, it's been 10 times the men. Not meaning that there's more women incarcerated than men, just meaning that the growth rate of women incarcerated is 10 times more than men in the past decade. And I don't think people realize that. And like over 50% of them is drug-related, drug addiction offenses, and like 80% of them are mothers and have kids. And I don't think that people take that into consideration. I don't really see feminists, worried about us. I don't really see anybody worried about the women who are suffering from mass incarceration.
So what can we do to like help just spread that knowledge, or just what can we do to help? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I've been doing. I actually just went to a feminist majority function, and I shared this knowledge with them, and they were very like shocked. It's almost like they couldn't believe what the things that I was telling them, and that's for a whole nother story about the treatment and the health care and things like that for women who are incarcerated. But they couldn't believe it. It's like we're almost like literally forgotten. So, every chance that I get, like right now, I'm going to bring it up. Every chance that I get. And just allow them to, be heard through the music when the Die Jim Crow Project. Hopefully people can start realizing how many chicks, got caught up with guys, got in the wrong situation or was on drugs and, did some things that, because a lot of them honestly saved my life. A lot of the lifers that I met really saved my life, made me set goals and plans and all that stuff. And I've been sticking to all the goals and plans that they helped me coordinate. So it's very important that I give back.
Hey, man, I just want to say I appreciate you for enlightening us, for always spreading it. It's always genuine love whenever you feel me.
Absolutely.
Whenever we come across each other. And I want to say I appreciate it. We just did the
I
video.
Yeah,
just did that side chick video.
Yeah, man.
That's dropping next week.
Restricted Movement 2 is coming this summer. This shit. I don't like tooting my own horn. Oh, this shit hot.
This shit hot. I'll toot that shit for you, bro. This shit hot, dog.
I'm so confident in this shit. Y'all are gonna love this shit. Just check it out. I mean, if you haven't checked out Restricted Movement 1, you already missed out on that fucking gem. Really, honestly, you might just want to go back and listen to that first because the growth of it is just unbelievable. Niggas is not even gonna realize that this is me. But I'm real versatile like that. I could do one thing and then I could do the next thing and like it's nothing. So that shit hot, y'all. And the video is fire. Lito shot that shit. The video gonna be fire.
So that
I
ain't
can't wait for y'all to see it.
You gotta keep it on the low. They gonna see it. They gonna see it. Hey, Bo, where can they find you? Where can they find your music? Where can they find anything?
Restricted Movement 2 will be available on all streaming platforms by June, I can say, confidently. In June, just follow me at BL Shirelle, BLSHIRELLE. That's on all social media. On Twitter, I'm at BL Shirelle 8, but don't follow me because I like talking real reckless on there. Just keep on the lookout. On YouTube, all that shit is the same. I try to keep it real consistent. Just follow me and you'll see the link when it comes down. Restricted Movement 1, some of it is on YouTube, some of it is on SoundCloud. I actually did physicals because I was just coming home and I wanted to feel old-fashioned in that way. I wanted to feel like this is like everybody can't get it type shit. You know what I mean? And they started off where I just sold a couple and then I sold quite a few. People liked it. So they loved it. People still listening to it. It's 2 years old. So that goes to show you how good of a project that was.
If they still listening to it 2 years, it's on the route to being timeless music.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be my section 80. When people go back, they're going to be like, oh shit, this shit right here was fire once they finally get, catch up. When they go back, they're gonna fuck with it.
Hey, BL Shirelle.
It's over.
What's up, y'all? I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Man.
I appreciate you for having me.
This is what I need you to do. Let them know what they watching and sign us out of here.
Of course, we watching Takeover Files. We at Takeover Files Media. We on deck. You know what I'm saying? Lito, Takeover, doing this thing. And I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.